Hello, my name is Tyler Wasson, and today I'll be arguing that there should be no minimum wage in the United States. As we all know, the minimum wage is the lowest hourly amount that an employer is able to pay an employee. But perhaps a better way of thinking about this is that the minimum wage is the minimum amount that a person can sell their own labor for. It's not wrong to think that a person should be able to do whatever they want with their own body, as long as they're not negatively affecting someone else in their own in any sort of manner. So why can't a U.S. citizen sell their own labor and work for whatever amount that they want, as long as both parties consent? Here we have a graph that is detailing comparing the CPI versus the minimum wage. It's pretty clear to see here that as the minimum wage goes up, on average the CPI is going up roughly the same amount. What this basically means is that even though American citizens are getting paid more, the cost of living has also gone up at the same rate. So it is effectively a null point, and the minimum wage really raising does not have any effect on how much discretionary income a person would have. Here we have the minimum wage in current dollars. And we can see here from this graph that there are sharp increases in 1950-56, from 1978 through 81, 89 through 91, 96 through 98, and 2006 through 2009, most recently. Keep these years in mind for the next graph. Here we have the civilian unemployment rate. And we can see sharp increases in the unemployment rate really shortly after these sharp increases that we had on the previous graph in the minimum wage. Shortly after, approximately a year, or so roughly around a year on average, after the raise in minimum wage, there is a raise in unemployment, effectively causing more unemployment in the United States, which some people are not too happy about. There's also a large effect that raising the minimum wage has on small businesses and franchise owners, because the CPI is going up at roughly the same rate, is still delayed a little bit, meaning that small businesses have to all businesses have to raise their prices, but it's harder for small businesses to compete with these prices because their net profit margin is cut down dramatically in the first couple of years after. So it makes it a lot harder for expansion of smaller businesses and small franchise owners in the United States. And I will leave you with a video on that.
Devin Uran was happy to get a raise when Seattle's minimum wage went up to $11 an hour at the beginning of the month.
I definitely recognize that having more money is important, especially in a city as expensive as this one.
Unfortunately, he'll only enjoy that bigger paycheck for a few more months. In August, his boss is shutting down Z Pizza, putting him and his 11 coworkers out of work.
Fortunately, she keeps us in the loop and didn't just tell us last minute.
Ritu Shah Burnham doesn't want to go out of business, but says she can't afford the city's mandated wage hikes.
I've let one person go since April 1st. I've cut hours since April 1st. I've taken them myself because I don't pay myself. I've also raised my prices a little bit. Yeah, I mean, there's no other way to do it.
Small businesses in the city have up to 6 more years to phase in the new $15 an hour minimum wage. But Shaw Burnham says even though she only has one store with 12 employees, she's considered part of the Z Pizza franchise, so she has to get raises sooner in just 2 years.
I know that I would have stayed here had I had 7 years just like everyone else that had an even playing field. The discrimination that I'm feeling towards my small business right now makes me not want to stay and do anything in Seattle.
We reached out to 15 Now Seattle, the organization that pushed for the higher minimum wage. Director Jess Spear hadn't heard about Z Pizza's decision to close, so she wouldn't comment specifically on that, only saying, quote, restaurants open and close all the time for various reasons. Yaron wonders about all the rallies that were supposed to be about making life better for people like him.
If that's the truth, I don't think that's very apparent. People like me find themselves in a tougher situation than ever.
Shaw Burnham is concerned about where her employees will end up when she does close.
I absolutely am terrified for them. I have no idea where they're going to find jobs because if I'm cutting hours, I imagine everyone is across the board.
And I will leave you with a quote from widely known comedian Chris Rock.